What's up, guys? It's an update of the puppy build for not Gold Paladins, my bad, Royal Paladins. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get started on this. Our previous trigger scheme was 5 criticals, 3 draw. However, now, I was able to get stuff in the mail, so now I run rainbow triggers like I wanted to. Rainbow triggers is just great. With this deck and how this deck runs, you're going to want rainbow triggers for the pure fact that this deck doesn't have, that, I don't know what to exactly say, but it doesn't have the ability where it can run 8 critical triggers, because there's times where it's just not good. Like the stand triggers are just a sneak up on the opponent, the draw triggers are just randomly helping me, the heal triggers are savers, obviously, and the crits are just that extra aggression and the extra pressure it puts on the opponent, and also faster damage. For some reason, I pull my Epona's early game for some reason, and then my draw triggers are late game. I don't know why, but that just happens, I guess. It's just how the deck wants to run. But this deck, rainbow triggers are probably the best thing you could do for this deck, and maybe I'll test it later on with, more aggro based or, something like that. But anyway, the grade 1s. For Snowgall. Snowgall is your main grade 1 you want. You want to get him in the rear guard, and you want him to be all 3 rear guards. Snowgall's just too good. When there's 3 of him on the field, he turns into an 8K, so it's basically just another Marin. However, his ability works with Garmore, and it's just easier to pull him out than it is Marin. He gains 1,000 for every other Snowgall on the field, just like Brugall. However, Brugall is actually going to be changed. I'm going to change that to whatever starter later on. But yes, Snowgall is extremely good. I love him in this deck, and this deck is based around him, so. Next grade 1s, I run 4 Little Sage Marin as your backup booster, because in case you can't get the Snowgalls going and everything, Marin is going to be your saver. Also, 3 Toy Poogal. Toy Poogal are okay in this deck. I mean, there's times where I can get the ability off, but there's times where I can't. I'm gonna start playing differently. I'm gonna play I'm gonna actually test it out how it is using Toy Poogal as a booster or something like that more fluently than I do now. As far as that is concerned, Toy Poogal is not that bad of a booster. If there's another grade 3, including your Vanguard on the rear guard circle, then it turns into, basically if there's 2 grade 3s on the field, this little shit turns into a 9K booster. And so, that's just pretty good to be a 9K booster. I mean, it's not the greatest booster we've seen, but it's still pretty good, and it's not a cost, basically. You just have to have stuff on the field, which isn't that difficult. Next, I have 4 Pongal. Yes, I do run Soul Saver Dragon, and I use Pongal because I need Soul Saver to be pulled as fast as I can if I'm going to use Soul Saver. Soul Saver is basically the one that ends the game, the one that does the most pressure, the one that really wrecks everything, due to the fact that Snowgalls turn into 13K boosters, or 12K boosters for that matter. However, if an event happened where I had 2 grade 3s and Toy Poogal was on rear guard and I Soul Savered Toy Poogal, it would just be, oh my god, it'd be crazy. That'd be 14, 14, 14, boosting all my units. Soul Saver gets a total of 17 bonus, 27K Vanguard, probably be like 23 and 23 on my rear guards, depending if I had a loaded field or not. But his ability also adds to Soul, and it's just better that way. Counterblast 1, and yeah, Counterblast is kind of heavy in this deck. However, I don't Counterblast when, I need to save. I don't ever need to save Counterblasts, that's the thing. Next, 4 of my grade 2 Garmore. When he's called to Vanguard or Rear Guard, discard a card, search for a Snowgall or Brugall. I only got 1 Brugall, so I'm gonna put, discarding to get Snowgall out faster. And this is just one of the engines of the deck. It's what gets the deck going, so you want 4 or 3 at the least in this deck. Then I have 3 Ikane. Ikane is there to search out Toy Poogal, to search out Pongal, to search out Snowgall, to search out anybody that I might need even Margal if I have to. Like, if I need to Soul Charge another time for Soul Saber Dragon, just for whatever reason, she can search it out by a Counterblast of 2. So, you know, just searches out a High Beast. It's pretty nice, and it's only going to get better as, you know, time goes on. Currently, I have 3 Eagle Knight of the Skies. However, I'm thinking about trading these guys out for 10k vanillas. Galatine or Lamorak, I don't care. But I'm thinking about doing that. Now, if I don't trade them out for the 10k vanilla, if I have more rear guards than you, I think is... Yeah, if I have more rear guards than you, they turn into 11k attackers. And the reason why I don't want that is because my grade 2 lineup is pretty weak. A lot of them are 8k standard 8ks. However, they do get a bonus or they get something to get them stronger. I don't like that. My grade 2 lineup is pretty weak. However, if I trade these out for the 10k vanillas, I think it'd be fine at that point. Next are the grade 3s. I run 8. And, yeah. So we have our 3 Fang of Light Garmore. The reason why I have 3 and not 4 is because he is actually not the main Vanguard. He's a good Vanguard. He is. He basically turns into a cross ride in this deck. However, the thing with him that I don't like, one, is that it's only on my turn. He turns into a 13. On top of that, his ability to search out is a discard just like the Garmore. But this deck really gets its strength because 8k boosters are just so easy to get a hold of. And it gets its strength from Soul Saber Dragon. Soul Saber Dragon is what makes this deck good. Now, granted, this deck is a Garmore build, so I probably should be showing more love to Garmore than I should Soul Saber Dragon, but Soul Saber is just too freaking good. I'm going to add a second Soul Saber in here, and when I do that, I'm probably going to add a 4th Garmore. Only for that reason is because, one, now I have somebody to put on rear guard, which, you know, that's a person I can throw out there for Pugal, or I'll have a second Soul Saber to put in there to search with Pongal. That way 4 of them isn't as cloggy as it is now. But the thing is that they're, you know, if I have too many Pongal in my hand, the thing with that is I don't need to worry about it because these guys are going to be discarding them, or I can use them as shields or boosters if need be. Next, my other grade 2s are 2 Pendragons. Pendragon is okay. I mean, he does get the deck to run a little smoother with my grade 3 lineup. He's going to make the deck not necessarily run, but it makes it go by faster. It makes me clean it out just a little bit, thin it out. On top of that, I'm also superior riding any of my units, meaning he does get added to the soul, meaning that can help for Soul Saver, or, you know, it can get me to Garmore faster. So having him there is actually a good choice. Also, he turns into a 15k base Vanguard when I first ride him. So, you know, he can attack pretty heavy. Lastly, my final Vanguard is the King Knights Alfred. Alfred is just amazingly awesome in this deck. He's fun to use. He's a good backup Vanguard. Most of the time, it's going to be Soul Saber and Alfred. But, you know, he's still pretty good. Now, in the future, Sanctuary Guard Dragon's going to be coming out. In that event, I'm probably actually going to get rid of the whole Garmore plan and just go Sanctuary Guard Dragon. Or I'm going to get rid of Alfred and my 2 Pendragons and go Sanctuary Guard Dragon out of that. Depending if I want to run 3 or 4 of him, depends on that. But yeah, Alfred is a good choice in this deck. I thought he was going to be kind of, you know, difficult to see how he'd run. However, his Counterblast of 3 is a little heavy, but it's not the heaviest thing I've seen. In an event where I do use his Counterblast, it does hurt me to the point where, you know, I can't do anything now because, you know, everybody else except Pongal requires a Counterblast of 2, and I probably already activated Pongal's Counterblast Soul Charge, so, you know, he's kind of gone. But I don't use that ability most of the time. I use his ability for the fact that if I have a loaded field, he is a 20k, and, you know, it's by himself, so I just swing for those triggers. So I'll swing, you know, rear guard, then him, hoping for a trigger to stand this guy and swing in again. That's basically what I use him for. Other than that, guys, I want to first say I'm sorry for, you know, the lack of posting recently. We're trying to regulate our posts to the point where we're going to be posting, you know, at like a frequent time through a while. We have stored videos now. We're going to be making videos throughout, you know, the week and everything, and we have them stored up to the point where, okay, now we can kind of relax a little bit and just give you a video every now and then. Or, you know, we can make a video like now, and then a week later, it's actually up on the channel. You know, it's just easier on us being able to do that now. Also, you know, I'm going to be the one recording most of the time, so, yeah. Anyway, guys, I do recommend this deck to everyone. This deck is super fun, and it gives you, you know, Royal Paladins just give you a glimpse at everything that is Vanguard, so go ahead and check out this deck. It's pretty cheap. I'm going to be evolving it, you know, adding perfect guards to it, hopefully, and doing all that good stuff. But, in the future, I plan on having lots and lots of more decks, and, doing all that good stuff. So, anyway, guys, yeah, that's Garmore puppy build, and, I'll talk to you later.